Bloodseeker Radiance is nothing new, but in this patch, it became a dominating choice. Hi, I'm Torte and I'm here to improve your game, so let's get into it. For the longest time, Bloodseeker was not a viable carry in the meta, especially in view of what was popular. Highly mobile mid-game ganking heroes like Puck, Storm Spirit, and Ember Spirit. These sorts of heroes shut down Bloodseeker because they're able to continue moving without being damaged by Rupture, while dealing high magic damage to Bloodseeker who had very little survivability and took a lot of risk being in the middle of a fight. While today's meta heroes still do well against Bloodseeker, Bloodseeker's new Blood Mist Radiance build helps overcome his weaknesses. Also, this new Radiance build doubles down on what makes Bloodseeker so strong, snowballing in damage and punishing misplays. The moment the enemy is out of position or survives from a bad fight, Bloodseeker guarantees to finish the job. By the way, for educational content, definitely like and subscribe. In recent patches, Bloodseeker was pushed from a physical damage dealer to becoming a magic damage dealing hero. For example, in 7.36b, they increased Bloodseeker's innate healing ability, Song of War, by 50%, and this is without the 50% increase you also get from Ag Scepter. This made his overall survivability during laning and beyond more acceptable. But with the Ag Scepter, a core item in this build, he goes from a good sustain hero to an unkillable non-stop damage dealer. Also, Blood Right damage was increased in 7.26b and again in 7.37 with his level 15 talent buff. Speaking of 7.37, they also increased the Blood Rage spell amplification talent from 10 to 50% at level 10. Lastly, Blood Rage costing no mana in 7.37d fixed Bloodseeker's mana problem. Removing his most spammable ability throughout all stages of the game is massive. Now you only use your mana for his Blood Right and Rupture. Bloodseeker's Radiance Ag Scepter works similar to Radiance heroes like Lifestealer, Wraith King, and the popular meta carry Alchemist. It means Bloodseeker can deal a lot of damage just by being in fights while he sustains his health. So the enemy team should either focus down Bloodseeker, knowing he'll last a long time, or fight around Bloodseeker, giving him free reign to deal as much damage as he can. This is how Bloodseeker's magic build works. Radiance and Ag Scepter ability Blood Mist deals huge magic damage in an AoE that also converts any kills into big heals and a damage barrier. It's like Pudge's Rot, but with some bonus caveats. 1. Blood Mist deals 7% of maximum health as magic damage, and that's to everyone including Bloodseeker himself, and this makes it incredibly strong against tanky or illusion based heroes. Now number 2, that damage barrier doesn't let Blood Mist become a self-sabotaging ability like Pudge's Rot, but rather helps Bloodseeker get tankier and harder to kill in fights. 3. Your innate ability makes it so that any hero that dies near Bloodseeker heals him. But if he is already at max HP, instead he converts that overheal into a damage barrier that protects him against any type of damage, including Blood Mist's damage itself. That barrier can reach up to 50% of Bloodseeker's max health, so the more health Bloodseeker has, the more barrier he can get. And 4, lastly, Radiance provides evasion and causes enemies to miss on physical attacks, all while the hero can silence an entire team with his Blood Right AoE ability and can cast Blood Rage to amplify all this magic damage as well. And he can chase anyone trying to flee, evidently with Thirst. Okay, that was a mouthful, but there's actually more synergies to talk about. Like a neat trick to start fights with Bloodseeker is to farm up a creep wave nearby to get a barrier started, then run to engage a team fight with Blood Mist and all your other abilities. That barrier will reduce the damage taken from Blood Mist damage while damaging enemies. Besides, you can always turn it off if you are taking a lot of damage. Now for starters, Bloodseeker's laning stage is just okay. He starts with decent armor around 6-7, and his lasting power is alright, which when combined with your innate ability, makes you keep his life afloat with last hits and denies. You grab a single point in Blood Right for the damage to secure the range creep, then we max Blood Right, then Blood Rage. We normally don't max Blood Rage first because of the health cost, but we can get 1 point at level 4 to amp up Blood Right damage if there's a kill opportunity in the lane. Meanwhile, we pick up a Null Talisman to help alleviate that mana cost. Thirst is valuable early on, as any low hero on the map gives you a ton of movement speed to harass opponents in the lane before they can pull back. At your level 10 talent, we will increase Blood Rage's spell damage, just like your level 15 increases your Blood Right damage. So once you hit level 15, you should be able to one-shot entire creep waves with a Blood Right and Blood Rage combined. Bloodseeker can easily jungle to farm up his Radiance, allowing him to come online in the 20 to 30 minute mark and just shred teams quickly with his massive magic or damage like Alchemist, and he's pretty great at snowballing when he comes online. In terms of item build, we start out with phase boots because it helps phase through foes to reach your target without being delayed or slowed, and the armor is especially appreciated for Bloodseeker. Then your core items like Radiance, Black King Bar, and Aghanim Scepter. So after that, we opt for something like Sange and Yasha for better sustain. The Sange portion gives you increase on your heals from Sangivore and meaning larger barriers from any overheals and raw HP, so the max amount of barrier you achieve is higher too. You also enjoy extra attack speed and movement speed from Yasha, especially in the beginning of fights when no one is low health or thirst to activate. You can also consider Eternal Shroud for the magic resistance that also reduces the self damage you take from Blood Mist, but from then on you should consider your Ag Shard upgrade. Once you get it, you should already be dealing high physical attack damage from the plus 65 damage you receive from Radiance, as well as magic damage from it combined with the Blood Mist. But with Ag Shard, you are also dealing pure damage that heals you with every attack, and with an increased attack speed from Blood Rage and the Ag Scepter means that those heals boosted by the Sange and Yasha will create an overheal very quickly while dealing 3 types of mixed damage simultaneously. In terms of late game items, Bloodstone can be hilariously overkill as an item because it means more health, more maximum barrier, as well as an AoE increase while the heals are amplified by Sange and Yasha. So in the late game, you're literally just a hurricane of blood and enemy tears. Plus, you can throw in the level 20 talents to give Spell Lifesteal for even more insane heals and sustain. Instead of Bloodstone, I actually recommend maybe getting a Shield's Guard for armor, more damage, and reducing the heal of rivaling tanky core heroes. Refresher Orb is also a good finisher, as once you hit level 5 you get 4 times the Ruptures with the Refresher, double the BKB, double the AoE, Chain Silence of Bloodright, as well as Bloodstone Active Regeneration, Boost, and Shiva's Guard. So in summary, while right-click position 1 Bloodseeker doesn't cut the mustard compared to the meta, his popularity is skyrocketing, or at least in a different, more sustaining way like Alchemist. Like most of the carries of this meta, Bloodseeker takes advantage of his okay laning phase and jungle farming to reach massive items like Radiance, Black King Bar, and Ag Scepter. He looks to end the game by 30 minutes while his momentum is still strong.